Shalom, it's day 109 of Read the Bible in a Year. 109 of Read the Bible in a Year. There we go. And we're in 2 Kings. Slept in a little bit this morning, so right now it's a little bit after 6. So there you go. Anyways, 2 Kings, or at least when I'm shooting this video. There we go. 2 Kings chapter 12. We're going to read through chapter 15 on page 395 in the scriptures if you want to follow along. And of course, we are nearing 400 pages. So that's like that's a novel there. That's a big book. So to read through the Bible, that's a big book. Pat on the back. It's good today. It's good today. Hot diggity dog. No way. Chapter 12. And Jehoash began to reign in the 7th year of Jehu, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Sabiah of Beersheba. And Jehoash did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh all the days in which Jehoiada the priest instructed him. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still slaughtered and burned incense on the high places. And Jehoash said to the priests, all the silver and the set-apart gifts that are brought into the house of Yahweh, the silver coming over, each man's assessment silver, all the silver that a man purposes in his heart to bring to the house of Yahweh, let the priests take for themselves, each from his friend. And let them strengthen the breaches of the house wherever there is a breach. And it came to be by the 23rd year of sovereign Jehoash that the priest had not strengthened the breaches of the house, and the sovereign Jehoash called Jehoiada the priest and the other priests and said to them, why have you not strengthened the breaches of the house? And now do not take any more silver from your friends, but give it for the breaches of the house. And the priests agreed that they would neither receive any more silver from the people nor strengthen the breaches of the house. So the priests are being greedy here. They're like, oh, we were instructed to take a bunch of silver. We're just going to keep it for ourselves. A little stepped up. And Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in its lid and set it aside the slaughter place on the right side as one comes into the house of Yahweh. And the priests who guarded the door put there all the silver that was brought into the house of Yahweh. And it came to be, whenever they saw there was much silver in the chest, come on. The sovereign scribe and the high priest came up and put it in bags and counted silver that was found in the house of Yahweh, and gave the silver, weighed it out into the hands of those who did the work, who had the oversight of the house of Yahweh, and they paid it out to the carpenters and the builders who worked on the house of Yahweh, and to stonemasons and stone cutters for buying timber and hewn stone to strengthen the breach of the house of Yahweh, and for all that was paid to strengthen the house. However, there were not made for the house of Yahweh basins of silver, snuffers, sprinkling bowls, trumpets, any objects of gold or objects of silver from the silver that was brought into the house of Yahweh, for they gave that to the workmen, and they strengthened the house of Yahweh with it. And they did not reckon with the men into whose hand they gave the silver to be paid to workmen. They acted trustworthily. The silver from the trespass offerings and the silver from the sin offerings was not brought into the house of Yahweh, it belonged to the priests. And Hazael, sovereign of Aram, went up and fought against Gath and captured it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. And Jehoash, sovereign of Jehoiada, took all the set-apart gifts that his fathers Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, and Ahaziah, sovereigns of Judah, had set apart, and his own set-apart gifts, and all the gold found in the treasuries of the house of Yahweh, and in the sovereign's house, and set them to Hazael, sovereign of Aram, then went away from Jerusalem. And the rest of his acts of Joash, and the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Yehudah? And his servants rose up and made a conspiracy, and smote Joash in the house of Milo, which goes down to Silla. For Jozachar, son of Shemath, and Jehozabad, son of Shomer, his servant, struck him, so he died. And they buried him with his fathers in the city of David. And Amaziah, his son, reigned in his place. In the 23rd year of Joash, son of Ahaziah, sovereign of Judah, Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel in Shomeron, and reigned 17 years, and all he did in the eyes of Yahweh. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, there we go, and followed the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. He did not turn away from them. I'm sorry, that was chapter 13. We are now in verse 3. And the displeasure of Yahweh burned against Israel, and he gave them into the hand of Hazael, sovereign of Aram, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, all the days. Then Jehoahaz sought the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh listened to him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, because the sovereign of Aram oppressed him. And Yahweh gave Israel a Savior, so that they came out from under the hand of Aram. And the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before. However, they did not turn away from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who had made Israel sin, but walked in them. Moreover, the Asherah also remained in Shomeron. And remember, the sin of Jeroboam was they built golden calves. Just the way they did coming out of Egypt, they built golden calves and worshipped them, which was a symbol of worship in Egypt. So, there you go. Verse 7. For he left of the army of Jehoahaz only 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, 10,000 footmen, for the sovereign of Aram had destroyed them and made them like the dust at threshing. And the rest of the acts of Jehoahaz and all that he did in his might, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? So Jehoahaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Shomeron, and Joash, his son, remained in his place in the 37th year of Joash, sovereign of Judah. Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, began to reign over Israel in Shomeron 16 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. He did not turn away from all the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin, and he walked in it. And the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, and his might, with which he fought against Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? So Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat on his throne. And Joash was buried in Shomeron with the sovereigns of Israel. And Elisha had become sick with sickness in which he died. And Joash, the sovereign of Israel, came down to him and wept over his face and said, "O my father, the chariots of Israel and their horsemen." And Elisha said to him, "Take a bow and some arrows." And he took a bow and some arrows. And he said to the sovereign of Israel, "Place your hand on the bow." So he placed his hand. And Elisha placed his hands on the hands of the sovereign. And said, "Open the east window." And he had opened it, and Elisha said, "Shoot." And he shot. Then he said, "The arrow of deliverance of Yahweh, and the arrow of deliverance of Aram, for you shall strike Aram and at Ephek until it is finished." Then he said, "Take the arrows," and he took them. And he said to the sovereign of Israel, "Strike the ground." And he struck the ground 3 times and stopped. And the man of Elohim was wroth with him and said, "You should have struck 5 or 6 times. Then you would have stricken Aram until its utter destruction. But now you shall strike Aram only 3 times. And Elisha died, and they buried him. And the raiding bands of Moab came into the land of the spring, in the spring of the year. When it came to be, they were burying a man, and there they saw a raiding band, and cast the man into the burial site of Elisha. And the man fell and touched the bones of Elisha, and came to life, and stood on his feet. And Hazael, sovereign of Aram, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz. But Yahweh showed favor to them, and had compassion on them, and turned toward them for the sake of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them or cast them from his presence as yet. And Hazael, sovereign of Aram, died, and Ben-Hadad, his son, reigned in his place. And Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, recovered from the hand of Ben-Hadad, son of Hazael, the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father in battle. Joash struck him 3 times, and he recovered the cities of Israel. All right, coming up on chapter 14, y'all. All right, sorry, I had to help my wife. It's the jacket, didn't take it off. It's cold outside. So, chapter 14. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, sovereign of Israel, Amaziah, son of Joash, sovereign of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jehoadin of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh, but not like his father David. He did according to all his father Joash did. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still slaughtered and burned incense on the high places. And it came to be, as soon as the rein was strengthened in his hand,
that he struck his servants who had stricken his father, the sovereign, but he did not put to death the children of the strikers, according to what is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, in which Yahweh commanded, saying, Fathers are not put to death for the children, and the children are not put to death for the fathers, but each one is put to death for his own sin. He struck Edom in the valley of Salt, 10,000, and took Selah in battle, and called its name Yoktheel to this day. Amaziah then sent messengers to Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, sovereign of Israel, saying, Come, let us look each other in the face. And Jehoash, sovereign of Israel, sent to Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give your daughter to my son as a wife. And a wild beast that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled the thistle. You have certainly stricken Edom, and your heart has lifted you up. Be esteemed and stay in your house, but why do you stir up yourself to evil, that you should fall, and you and Judah with you? But Amaziah did not listen. So Jehoash, sovereign of Israel, went up, and he and Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, faced one another at Beth Shemesh, which belongs to Judah. And Judah was smitten before Israel, and they each fled to his tent. And Jehoash, sovereign of Israel, caught Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, son of Jehoash, son of Ahaziah, at Beth Shemesh. And they came to Jerusalem, and he broke through the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits, and took all the gold and silver and all the objects that were found in the house of Yahweh in the treasuries of the sovereign's house, and hostages, and returned to Shomeron. Verse 15. And the rest of the acts of Jehoash, which he did, and his might, and how he fought with Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereign of Israel? So Jehoash slept with his fathers, and was buried in Shomeron with the sovereigns of Israel. And Jeroboam his son reigned in his place. And Amaziah, son of Joash, sovereign of Judah, lived 15 years after the death of Jehoash, son of Jehoahaz, sovereign of Israel. And the rest of the acts of Amaziah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Judah? And they made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish, and they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there, and brought him on horses, and he was buried at Jerusalem with his fathers in the city of David. And all the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and set him up to reign instead of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah after the sovereign slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah, son of Joash, the sovereign of Judah, Jeroboam, son of Joash, the sovereign of Israel, began to reign in Shomeron, and reigned 41 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. He did not turn away from all the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. He restored the border of Israel from the entrance of Hamath to the sea of Arabah, according to the word of Yahweh, Elohim of Israel, which he had spoken through his servant Jonah, son of Amittai, the prophet, who was from Gath-Hepher. For Yahweh saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter, and there was no one, neither shut up nor left at large, to help Israel. And Yahweh had not said that he would blot out the name of Israel from under the heavens, but saved them by the hand of Jeroboam son of Joash. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did in his might, how he fought, and how he recovered Damascus and Hamath for Judah in Israel, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? So Jeroboam slept with his fathers and the sovereigns of Israel, and Zechariah, his son, reigned in his place. All right. Chapter 15. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, son of Israel, sovereign of Israel, Azariah, son of Amaziah, sovereign of Judah, began to reign. He was 16 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Yekoliahu of Jerusalem. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh, according to all his father Amaziah did. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still slaughtered and burned incense on the high places, and Yahweh smote the sovereign so that he was a leper until the day of his death, and he dwelt in a separate house. And Jotham, son of the sovereign, was over the house, ruling the people of the land. And the rest of the acts of Azariah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Judah? So Azariah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Jotham, his son, reigned in his place. And in the 38th year of Azariah, sovereign of Judah, Zechariah, son of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in Shomeron for 6 new moons. And he did evil. Zechariah, there it is. He did evil in the eyes of Yahweh as his fathers had done. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who made Israel sin. And Shallum, son of Jabesh, conspired against him and struck him in front of the people and killed him and reigned in his place. And the rest of the acts of Zechariah, there we go. They are written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel. Dude was evil, reigned for 6 months. Got it. Short-lived. Verse 12. This was the word of Yahweh which he spoke to Jehu, saying, Your sons to the 4th generation are going to sit on the throne of Israel. And it came to be so. Shallum, son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, the sovereign of Judah. And he reigned a month of days in Shomeron. And Menahem, son of Gadi, went up from Tirzah and came to Shomeron, and struck Shallum, son of Jabesh, in Shomeron, and killed him and reigned in his place. And the rest of the acts of Shallum and the conspiracy which he led, they are written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel. And Menahem struck Tifsah and all who were there and its borders from Tirzah. And they did not open it to him. Therefore he struck it, and he ripped open all the pregnant women. What? Because they did not open it to him, therefore he struck it, and he ripped open all the pregnant women. In the 39th year of Azariah, sovereign of Judah, Menahem, son of Gadi, began to reign over Israel 10 years in Shomeron. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin all his days. Pul, the sovereign of Ashur, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver for his hand to be with him to strengthen the reign in his hand. And Menahem exacted the silver of Israel, of all the mighty men of wealth, of each man 50 shekels of silver to give to the sovereign of Ashur. And the sovereign of Ashur turned back and did not stay there in the land. And the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel? So Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son reigned in his place in the 50th year of Azariah, the sovereign of Judah. Pekahiah, the son of Menahem, began to reign over Israel in Shomeron for 2 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh, and did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. And Pekah, son of Remaliahu, a chief officer of his, conspired against him and struck him in Shomeron in the high place of the sovereign's house, along with Argob and Aryeh, and with him were 50 men of Gilad. So he killed him and reigned in his place. And the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did, see, they are written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah, sovereign of Judah, Pekah, son of Remaliahu, began to reign over Israel in Shomeron for 20 years. And he did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. He did not turn away from the sins of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. In the days of Pekah, sovereign of Israel, Tiglath-Pileser, sovereign of Beth Maacah and Yanoah, and Kadesh and Hatzor and Galad and Galil, all the land of Naphtali, and took them into exile to Ashur. And Hoshea, son of Elah, led a conspiracy against Pekah, son of Remaliahu, and struck him and killed him, and reigned in his place in the 20th year of Jotham, son of Uzziah. And the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, see, they are written in the books of the annals of the sovereigns of Israel. In the 2nd year of Pekah, son of Remaliahu, sovereign of Israel, Jotham, son of Uzziyahu, sovereign of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Yerusha, the daughter of Zadok. And he did what was right in the eyes of Yahweh. He did according to all that his father Uzziah did. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still slaughtered and burned incense on the high places, and he built the upper gate of the house of Yahweh. And the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the sovereigns of Judah? In those days, Yahweh began to send Redzin, sovereign of Aram, and Pekah, son of Remaliahu, against Judah. So Jotham slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Ahaz his son reigned in his place. All right, and that's 12, 13, 14, and 15. Shalom.